For the American military, there's been a positive side to the economic downturn, more recruits. And one of the biggest beneficiaries has been the Marines. Last year, they aimed to secure about 37,000 new recruits and exceeded the target. Many of those new soldiers will join the tens of thousands already waging a major offensive against the Taliban in southern Afghanistan. North America correspondent Kim Landers joined the training of the US Marine Corps.
These are US Marines in action. 3 platoons are invading a town.
All right, hey, Carter, you're going to go to the west side on that other window, got it? Provide security along that main...
They're trying to take a foothold in one of the buildings. This is not Afghanistan, but it's supposed to be pretty close. It's the Marine Corps' Urban Warfare Training Centre at Quantico near Washington. On this day, about 40 Marines play the roles of insurgents trying to repel the attack.
Aim in that window too.
To an observer, it's confusing and chaotic.
Hey! Try aiming in the windows of Alpha 1!
Hey, Rob, where'd they all go? That's your dead body.
I don't know. If you don't have a target, don't waste your ammo.
And even these Marines struggle to follow the fight.
It's very difficult, especially you can see these buildings. It's not just windows, but it's all these little peepholes as well. And so you generally only see a muzzle flash, and if that.
That's the way the Marines train. They try to train as they fight. So, chaotic, that's what they're trying to simulate here.
In Afghanistan, US Marines are leading the Marja offensive. It's the first test of a new US and NATO counterinsurgency strategy. A rehearsal for a larger assault in Kandahar, the Taliban's stronghold. And it could be crucial in deciding whether the Afghanistan war has reached a turning point.
1, 2, 3.
It's a fight these Marines are keen to join.
It's not a question of if we go, but when we go. And I think all of us are hoping that, that we can get into that fight and be part of it, man.
I've done a lot of studying of counterinsurgency warfare and of the Afghan people as well, and that's really what I want to get into.
The Marines here are all officers in the final month of their training at the basic school. Their helmets and flak jackets are fitted with sensors, their M16s with lasers. And while they're firing blanks, this high-tech system can tell whether they've been killed or wounded.
Capturing killed.
It even reveals how accurate their shots are. The Marines are attacking a town, but it's not going very well. They're taking heavy fire, a lot of casualties, but it's still giving them a real sense of what it's like to be in combat. The US has been at war for almost 9 years, yet the strain of a protracted conflict is having little effect on recruiting. Last year, the Marines set out to recruit almost 37,000 men and women, a target they exceeded.
The Marines have managed to do well because they're smaller. They've also allowed their troops more time at home in between deployments. Theirs are only 7 months in theater rather than the 12, and they get about 14 at home.
The U.S. economy being weak is helping prop up recruitment, but the question is whether that is an artificial prop up. And once the economy turns around, if and when it does, would that have a major impact on recruiting and retention, especially for the weak points in the force?
At the heart of the new US strategy in Afghanistan is protecting the Afghans.
We are looking for a Mr. Hassim Abdullah Mohammed.
I don't know.
It's also part of this training exercise in a mock village, with Afghans, many of whom don't want to be identified, playing the role of villagers as the Marines try to find an insurgent. But the Marines have blundered, offending the village elder.
He's saying, you come inside my town and I'm village elder, you start pushing in front of the villagers. And this is disrespect to me and to my people.
While this is preparing the Marines for battle in Afghanistan, some experts worry that there's now too much emphasis emphasis on counterinsurgency training.
The Marine Corps in particular is at risk for its training atrophy right now, particularly in the amphibious assault domain. But also other pieces like mountain warfare. All of those types of training regimens have been put off to focus exclusively on counterinsurgency out of necessity. But again, it's a big open question whether this can be sustained indefinitely.
While the US has begun to push back against the Taliban in Afghanistan, military chiefs warn there's still heavy fighting ahead. There's little doubt these new Marine Corps officers will get their chance to join it. Kim Landers, Late Line.